everybody. Welcome back to Two Full, Two Stack. I'm your host, Nick Taylor, and I say that all the time, but I actually have a guest today.
Woohoo! Yeah, and it was
yeah.
grooving on that music too. It was like, oh yeah,
Yeah, that's like there's some really good phone music. I forget which one it is. It's got like a, not that I'm on hold that often anymore, but there's this real banger tune. I think it was like WebEx. If you ever used WebEx or something,
yeah.
it's just like I don't know. It's like drum and bass or something. I don't know what it was, but
I'm trying to think of like the last time I was actually on hold.
Yeah, but like they've upped their game. It's no longer like cheesy old elevator music. Yeah, but anyways, yeah. So like I was saying, I do this stream every month in the web dev space, and today's the first time we have a guest. I've been doing a lot of stuff with TanStack, and yeah, I'm hanging out with Jack Herrington today. So Jack, I feel like a lot of people know who you are, but for those that might not, who is Jack, the man, the myth, the legend?
Okay. I guess at the moment, I'm a full-time YouTuber. I cover, actually full stack stuff. So I could do a lot of like React and Next.js. And now a lot, like the last 5 videos, I think, have been all TanStack. And so I've been doing this for a long time. And not just the YouTube stuff, but before that, I was like principal engineer at Nike, and before that, Walmart Labs, and then some startups, and basically a little bit of everything.
Okay, cool.
Social networks and all that. And then I kind of I was really enjoying the educational part of being a front end, a principal engineer. So
yeah,
I was like, I could do this for a brown bag for like 20 people in a room, or I could do YouTube. And so I started getting into YouTube and got into like, the cameras and the setup and all that kind of stuff, and and how to make content and structure it and everything, and kind of, got excited about that. And then, with the pandemic, work started to get weird a little bit. So I was like,
definitely.
I think I'm gonna, do my own thing for a little bit and see how that rolls. And so I've been doing that for the past, I guess, year and a half or so, and it's been okay. I mean, it's not like economically, it's not the greatest thing in the world to do, but like my wife's a lot happier with me because she's like, you seem happier than you were at work. So that's cool. But yeah, like I would say at the beginning of this year, I kind of had one of the New Year's resolutions. I was like, okay, I really want, I was vibing more with the folks I would go to conferences and I'd be in the green room and hanging with, a bunch of folks. And I was vibing much more with like the OSS creators. I was with the influencer folks, and I'm like, what? I want to have something that I contribute to and work with a team and all that. And I looked around at the landscape of all the OSS that I was really interested in, and the one that stuck out to me was Tanner's TanStack stuff. And Tanner and I had talked about what he had going on with Start and all that. And I think so a couple months went by and I did nothing. I was doing my own thing, and then I was like, what? There was a point at which the React team asked me to help out in the blog entry for when they deprecated CRA. And I didn't fully agree with their premise, which was, hey, the new CRA is Next.js, essentially, which I think is a little bit off. So I was like, you know what, Tanner, let's go make a create-TanStack app. We go and build out, basically create React app, but with TanStack, with the router built in. And he's like, okay, that's cool. That's a great idea. And so I did that. Although because somebody had create-TanStack app, it had to be create-tsrouter-app. Although now I think we've just now got create-TanStack app, so whatever. But it became this project, and it was really, really fun. And so I started like adding stuff into it. I had these add-ons that you get add-ons, so it automatically integrate like TRPC or TanStack table or TanStack query if you wanted that, or a bunch of our sponsors like Convex and Sentry and all that. And it would just, and then we put in a really cool example that was like a chat system for an AI automatically in there. And now I'm actually working on this new alpha release where you can do add. So after you've created the app, you can then like later on say, oops, I forgot to put in TRPC support. So you can say add TRPC. And you can actually do custom add-ons. So I could actually go in as a vendor. Let's say I'm Material UI, for example. I could go and pretty easily create like an add-on for MUI that would just be like a URL. And people could then like do, create-tsrouter-app add, and then the URL, and then it would go and integrate their stuff in from a URL, which I think it's very similar to Shad CN. And I talked a lot to that CN guy, and I'm really inspired by his work over there. So bringing in a lot of that stuff and seeing what I can do to kind of take that and kick it up a notch, as they say. But I mean,
cool.
Really cool stuff in there. Like now you got solid support. You can create solid apps, and I know that Angular is in flight, so we're probably going to have an Angular start soon, which I think is really cool. I know Start itself is about to land on 1.0, which is really cool. So it's just been great. There's all kinds of fun stuff.
Yeah, it's
not making much money, but that's a different story.
But it's fun.
But it's fun, and it's certainly at a certain point, it's like, I'm not. I haven't done super well, but I've done well enough where I can like afford to take a little bit of time and just have some fun.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah. Oh, open source is kind of thankless, even if you're building cool stuff. But there's like I'm gonna be hanging with Chad Whitaker, who heads open source over at Sentry, because like there's the whole like OSS pledge and stuff, and I see Josh Goldberg.
Oh, what's the OSS pledge?
So it's kind of, if you go to osspledge.com, I also see Josh Goldberg in the chat, who went full time and working at open source. So, hey, Josh. Also, thank you for all the stuff you do for TypeScript. The OSS pledge is essentially, it's a way to, I guess maybe it's like a air quotes framework to get people to contribute, to open source monetarily, like companies and stuff. They had this and like Sentry in general just has really good marketing, and they had this like the OSS pledge stuff. I was in San Francisco last year for Netlify Compose, and I think they had one. It's and it's making the CEO look really bad, but it's just like they're basically just not forcing, but strongly encouraging people to give back monetarily, because it is kind of wild. Like if you think about it, like literally, like not just the front end ecosystem, but literally anything in front end tooling is open source. Like I can't think of anything that's paid, a paid product. Like Vite. I mean, obviously that's got some VC funding now and stuff. With I forget the name of the new company that they created there, but like it's got Biome and everything.
Right.
There's it's all kinds of stuff always happening in JavaScript land. But like Babel, the creator of that got burnout, then went to Rome, which that's a whole other story. But like everything, and like even like my coworker that I used to work with at OpenSauce, Brandon Roberts, who you're working with for the Angular stuff, I think, like he's been doing analog JS for a while, and there is sponsors, but and like I like to sponsor people too, but like my $5 to one contributor, to one maintainer, is not gonna like move the needle too much. Yes, you could have like potentially millions of people donating $5, but at the end of the day, it's like all the big companies, like Fang, like they all use these tools, like, and it's like a drop in the pond if they were to even drop $1 million or something,
right?
And
yes, exactly.
So
we used to, and you're right. Well, we used to pay for this stuff. I remember, if you were on like the Microsoft train, back in the day, doing like MFC and MSDN and all that stuff. It was subscriptions. It was all pay for. There was courses and all that, and now we live in this world where, I mean, you had the best stuff is absolutely free.
Yeah.
And at the same time, like, how do we support this financially? And so every group ends up like kind of doing its own thing. And then you kind of got to wonder, like, okay, what's the backing on this? Is it pure open source? Like, how are the incentives running? Because I mean, money, there's always some kind of strings, right? Or usually some kind of strings. So, are they aligned with the vision of it, or for who? Like, for us
exactly. Like money can obviously change the direction of a project for sure. And like, and even if people donate to open source, like it must be difficult for maintainers to divvy that up. Like imagine I'm not a core maintainer, but I put this banger PR up, like, which I'm happy to do. Like I love contributing to open source, but like, you know, how do they, you know, it's just complicated, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like, so yeah, the OSS pledge is one of those things that tries to help get that funding in there. And like, it started off with, because Sentry gives a lot of money to open source in general too. So yeah, I'm going to dig deeper into that with him. That's next month, I think. But yeah, it's a cool project if you're interested in about it. And I know Josh in the chat has thoughts about funding in open source too. But
it is about concentric.
What's that?
Oh, you said concentric is one other one, or Sentry? Sorry.
Oh, Sentry. Sorry.
Not Sentry.
Concentric. Yes,
yeah, got it. Okay. Yeah. No, Sentry did amazing stuff. I love the Sentry folks.
Yeah.
And yeah, great. We did TanStack AI together, and then
cool.
It was just fun. Like
working,
it was great.
Yeah. But yeah, like I was mentioning at the beginning of the stream, so I've been digging into a lot of this TanStack stuff. And for some context, like I used to work at Netlify on the frameworks team. So like these things are all very interesting to me as a dev, but also as somebody who had to support, you know, deployments on Netlify and just working with the all the maintainers, which was really cool, you know, like I just realized I'm wearing my remix shirt on a TanStack. But like, you know,
I should. Oh man, I should have a TanStack hat like right across from my monitor. Like, should go get it.
But yeah, you know, I think it's just been fun working in open source, and like been lucky enough to be paid like at the companies I work at, but that's not always the case, like we're discussing. But getting a little off the rails here, but about OSS, but like you kind of made a conscious decision to say like, hey, I'm gonna start working on this project, and it's like it seems like it's got some good legs to it. I've been seeing a lot of the releases go out. You know, like like it started off with just literally TanStack Router, but then I think you added stuff for like TanStack Table and maybe TanStack Form, I think, as well.
TanStack Form is so cool. Like what he's done there with TanStack Form is just really, really, I don't know. I mean, revolutionary in that form space. In that it used like every form library I've used, and I've looked at Formic and RHF and all of those. You always get the situation where it's like you get these massive blocks of like, okay, this is my name, thing, and it's got it's got a wrapper, and then it's got the input control, and it's all styled and blah 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 blah, and it's hooked up to the form element, and it's just you get like 30 lines for a single control, and you got like 10 components in a form, and you get like 300 lines. It's like, what? This is crazy. So what he's done is I can't remember what it's like an encapsulation API. It's not the right word, but like essentially what he's done is he's made it so that with context, you can create generic styled form controls that are form connected. Your 30 line invocation goes down to like 5. And it's reusable. So I can go and take the, that text input control or that text area control, and I can use it in 20 different forms. And then when I want to change the styling, I just change it in one spot and it changes everywhere. And it is just so much more. It's like, it's actually, composition. That's what it was. Composition.
Yeah.
And so it's just so much cleaner. And when I think about the stuff that I did as a principal engineer at Nike and the companies that I was working at, it was always kind of about like, hey, reuse. And how do we get things, so you don't have to go and build all this stuff yourself every single time. Like this was one of the major sticking points was we were doing a lot of forms and getting people and getting a way to have stuff validated and universally and all that was very difficult. But I think honestly that TanStack Forms could make a huge dent there.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of all he's done there, like TanStack Table. Like when I hung out with Kevin, we ended up using it at Open Source where I used to work.
That's cool.
Yeah,
well, you've been all over the place.
Yeah, it's but yeah, I don't know, like it doesn't make my brain hurt. TanStack Table, you know what I mean? Like because it's
a lot of the headless stuff makes my brain hurt for sure.
Yeah, but like once you get it, it's like it makes sense. Like I remember when I think the first headless component I saw was Downshift from Kent C. Dodds. It was like it was like a select menu, I think, and then other things came out. Then there was like all the radix stuff, and like basically like headless UI became the thing, because like then you're not like tightly bound to the like how it looks and stuff, and it makes sense in retrospect, but it's just like we never used to do that, you know. So it's like
yeah. Well, and now everybody uses Radix because we all use shadcn, which is built on Radix. And yeah, it's interesting to see, like, if you I hope people do this, like go crack open those files that it's copy and pasting into your app, and they're really just very light wrappers around Radix. Usually, I mean, there's a couple other libraries that they'll use, but it's primarily Radix. And I think there is like there's like essentially a code mod that you could do to go and use React Aria, but that was before shadcn did this new add thing, which was, and that's, I think, was revolutionary. Like the way that they did that was really cool. Like that, you know, shadcn add and then the URL. That just opens a whole flood of architectural options for your your infrastructure folks at like big companies. So if you are doing, you know, infra at like, say, a Walmart or a Nike or an Amazon or whatever, and you want to have folks, they're all clamoring for like a shadcn style solution. They're like, hey, that's so easy, you know, and you're like, okay, well, instead of just doing like shadcn add button, do like shadcn add and then HTTP blah 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 blah, you know, our button, right? And then it gets you exactly the same thing, except that it's got our styling on it. That kind of thing. That's like brilliant. Love it. Brilliant.
That's one of the things that I think people have a misconception about shadcn is like the first time I used it, I was like, why is it copying literally all the JSX? Like, why is this not in a node module, you know? And then like I looked at it and like, okay, I get it. It's really a starting point. And then like, because like the upgrade path, there is no upgrade path really aside from the dependencies maybe, and then you keep your style and stuff. And it's like it kind of flipped things on its head, I think, because like everybody was always used to like, whether it's MUI or whatever you're using or your own system, and then there's like an upgrade path to it, whereas this was just like starting point. Because people, I saw somebody tweet about saying like shadcn's the new bootstrap, and it's like it can be like in terms of like you don't change the styling, but like it's like
but it's meant to be changed.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's something that people miss when they do it. So I mean, that said, the default stylings are really nice, but
right, out of the box it looks great. So no complaints for me.
And I guess this brings up a question. I know we're gonna dig into create-tsrouter-app, but does create-tsrouter-app, or even I should say TanStack related stuff, support shadcn at the moment?
Totally.
Okay, cool.
Actually, let's do that. Can I present here? Like,
go ahead and just share your if you've never, I'm assuming you've used StreamYard at least once, so it's not going to ask you to restart your browser. Did it?
It did.
It's okay.
Wait, hold on. Can I do the entire screen? Can I do a window? No.
I think it's still going to ask you for the permissions.
Oh, shoot. Well, the thing is, like, okay, so I'm actually on for no particularly good reason. Well, no, for actually a decent reason. I'm on Chrome Dev at the moment.
Okay.
And it's because my arc wasn't like, it was the first time I'd gone into StreamYard. I usually do Riverside.
Okay, cool.
And arc was like, no, I don't understand what's going on here. So
no, it's all good. If you want to just pop and reboot, I can chat for a minute.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure. On. Yeah, all right.
Yeah. Cool, okay. Cool. All right. Stay tuned, folks.
Yeah.
So Jack's just gonna share a screen in a sec when his permissions get reset in the browser.
Okay.
Yeah, and Brian in the chat saying it'll just let you right back if you reload once you come back. So.
Oh, cool. Okay, awesome.
Yeah. So I'm used to this happening. Not the browser permissions, but I think more recently my old coworker Becca had her power go out, so I got to chat to people by myself for a few minutes. But anyways, let's smack talk Jack while he's not here. Okay, sure. Yeah, Jack, he's too nice, man. What the? Anyways, yeah. So we're gonna take a peek. Oh, there he's back. Cool. All right, and he's back. Cool. Oh, your mic's got to come back on again. I think it'll do whatever you did before when you came on. All good. Yeah. So while Jack's just getting his mic back there, I think almost there. I heard it. I heard it do like some air noise, so I have a feeling it's gonna come back. Uh, Brian saying, I once hosted a 5-hour workshop paid on CFE many years ago, and the power went out on the presenters 30 minutes in. Oof, that's rough. The yeah, I still can't hear you, Jack. I'm not sure. Um, we'll figure it out. Don't worry. This is the beauty of live streaming. Jack's really good at polished YouTube videos. You know, I still haven't done YouTube videos. Really, it's mainly live streaming. But yeah, to your point, Brian, what I did was, because like I'm a developer advocate now, if I ever have to do like a webinar or something, I actually bought a UPS. So like my router and my modem are plugged into that now. So if ever things go down, I've got like an hour and a bit of juice, I think. So anyways, I'm just gonna check. Okay, yeah, Jack's coming back. Anyways, it's all good. This is the beauty of live streaming. It's never expected to be perfect. Actually liking this new camera angle. You can actually see my microphone now. I got one of those new, what are they? The BenQ monitors. I recently did one of Jason Langsdorff's web dev challenges, and they have these nice BenQ monitors. They're 28 inches, which seems like an odd dimension, but it's actually surprisingly really good. And that's the monitor I have now. I replaced my widescreen monitor with it, and so it's a little taller, so you get more like vertical reading. But I had to adjust my camera because it's on top there. But yeah, Brian's saying they had backup, but it was down way too long. Yeah, that's got to be rough. What was I gonna say? Yeah, there's while Jack's coming back, I'm gonna just go ahead and grab some of the old streams. Let's see here. Certified fresh events on YouTube. Let's go there. I'll drop the most recent one. Where's it? Playlists. One sec here. Let's go to the full playlist. Actually, I'll just share the whole playlist. If anybody ever wants to check out the whole catalog of Too Full, Too Stack, it's right here. Can go ahead and grab that. But yeah, if you look at this one here, you can start watching the TanStack stuff from here. Also, I don't know if you heard, but Jack was trying to join StreamYard with Arc, and basically said no. So he's on a Chrome dev version, and I guess he'd never shared his screen on there. So it's, you know, it's the classic, you know, ask for the monitor permissions or screen sharing permissions. So, but I know he'll be back. I'm guessing he might be trying to go on another computer. I'm not positive, but that's all good. Let's see what's going on over here. Cool. Yeah, no, I used Arc too. I can't remember if I think I was using StreamYard with Arc, because I only switched off of Arc like when they stopped support, like putting updates to it. So basically I switched to Microsoft Edge. And you know, it's not the same. I miss the command bar in in Arc. But I feel like there was some stuff they could rework on whatchamacallit. Yeah, there's just stuff they could rework in like Chrome. Like I think a command bar would be great, like for the address and stuff. But anyways, I'm guessing, not sure what happened to Jack's mic, because before we jumped on the stream, his audio was out for like a second and then it came on. So I don't know. This is for me, this is like my biggest fear when I live stream. Oh, there we go. Hey, Jack. There we go. Still not working? It's okay. Don't worry about it. Don't sweat it. I'm just chatting with the folks while you try and get it set up. But yeah, like I was saying, for me, live streaming, live coding, none of that bothers me. It's like whenever I start a stream, it's like, is my audio working? Is my video working? And it's I remember the early days when I was live streaming on Dev2, and let's see. I don't know if I'm guessing you got your super good mic, Jack. I don't know. Can you try like can you try like the Mac one, or does that not pick up? Let me see here. Yeah, I can't do anything on my end. Brian's saying in the chat, it might be, I'm assuming you're looking at the settings in StreamYard, but it might be choosing it the wrong one by default. Yeah. Oh, Kevin is saying Zen is getting solid if you're anti-Chrome. I'm not anti-Chrome like Brian's saying, but oh, we got Brian here. Hey, what's going on, Brian? Are you big technical support, Brian? You'll be here in a sec, I guess. Hey, what's going on?
I'm just trying to see if I can help you guys with this mic issue. I can't actually see.
Yeah, I don't think you want to share your screen, Jack, and we can live debug. All right, we've this stream is now a tech support call. Your call is important to us. Please stay on the line.
See. So if you go, Jack, to your okay, you see, it looks like you got the screen share, but your mic settings. If you click your picture down the bottom, you should be able to edit your mic settings there. Yeah.
It looks good. Like, I mean, he has access to all his mics, so.
But none of them are picking up?
Oh, he can't change it. It's sticking to the default black magic.
Sticking. Why is that? That's bizarre. Let me see.
I'm gonna suggest a hack. I did this because I use Video Ninja on my own one, and there's issues. Like, open the dev tools and try to programmatically set it to like it's a YOLO move.
This is now a stream all about StreamYard.
Yeah, exactly.
StreamYard stream.
StreamYard, please donate to the CFE.dev. Especially since I think StreamYard prices are pretty pricey these days. But
audio.
But yeah, I've literally done this with guests on my stream where there's some issue with it's not the same issue, but like there's a responsive issue and you can't pick it. And so like I basically got them to do it programmatically or switch to mobile view. I don't know if mobile
post message.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
I wonder if it couldn't be script.
Josh, we'll fix your printer next. We'll hop in a live stream fixing Josh's printer.
All right, and then I've got my mom. I've got my mom on hold. She says her Wi-Fi is moving slow, so we'll queue her up too.
So which Jack? Which browser are you on?
He's in Chrome, but it's a dev version.
The dev version. Oh,
I wonder if you go to your settings.
And Arc was not working because Arc works fine for me on StreamYard.
Let's see here.
Let's see. Let's do this.
All right. Okay, the browser. Okay, I think you might need to reset the browser settings to allow the prompt, or do you?
Yes. Let's see. Still.
Not there. I think it's on the left side where you usually see the. Where is it? Or maybe just do Chrome / settings, even though you're in Arc, just in the browser. It'll switch to Arc, but go to what the heck is it? I don't know I think it's either privacy and security, or type in audio or microphone. Where is it? Site settings. It's under site settings. In all seriousness, though, I'm having fun doing this, so don't stress out about it, Jack.
The camera's blocked. Camera's blocked.
Yeah. So you could reset permissions for StreamYard. Maybe that's it. And then now if you go back to the actual StreamYard page in Arc,
it's gonna work. I feel it. It's gonna work.
I'm feeling good. Oh,
right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is reminding. Oh yeah, baby.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we
cool.
still don't hear him.
Well, it's because he's on the one that's not working, so he has to join again. Like he'll show up twice. There we go.
There we go. There we go.
Cool, cool. Also, everybody, Brian.
Hello.
Cool. Yes.
All right.
What the heck?
That's awesome, though. I'm glad we started.
I'm sure we could have done it in Chrome DevTools. It's just like doing that on the fly isn't like wildly strenuous. Like you're just like,
you know what I need to do?
I'm literally restarted my computer. I'm like, what is going on? And it would just like not select. And you're like, I'm not seeing anything in the console. Like, what is what?
Yeah, it's wild. It's like
YouTube short of it and post it. It's gonna be like just exciting.
Yeah,
I'll get some background music, like
right.
Like.
It's reminding me.
Right? Let's go round and round on this about 1,000,000 times. Okay, so what we're trying to do? We're trying to do.
So that's
trying to do. We're trying to do TanStack. Let's go do some TanStack.
See you guys later.
That actually works.
Later. Yeah. Cool. Yeah.
All right. Okay.
You should be able to present now.
Yeah.
Unless it I think if we reset it, it might ask you to.
Oh, are you kidding me? No, allow. Are you kidding me? Oh yeah, no. I think we're good. We're good.
Okay.
Arc tab. I would want to do my entire screen now. Let's go.
Yeah.
Cool. Yes. Because I have done this before. That's.
Okay, so we got Inception going.
Yay!
Cool. We did it. Thanks for hanging out in the crowd there. People were rooting for you.
Thanks. Actually, let me do my actual screen because I got like 3 screens and there's only like that's the one I wanted. Screen.
Cool.
Okay. Cool. Okay.
All right. So create-tsrouter-app for people who were in the tech support.
By the way, that has nothing at all to do with TS Router app or any of that.
Yeah.
That was totally just whatever.
Yeah, exactly. So you need to make sure your microphone works before you use create-tsrouter-app.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yes, exactly. Okay, so create. Okay, so there's also create. Now we've got create start app, which you can use to create a TanStack start app. We'll do the classic TS Router app, and we'll add on this add-ons functionality. So, all right, let's bring in the new version.
Cool. So you're using PNPM, the PNPM,
PNPX,
NPX equivalent, but
yeah. I just like my stuff fast. All right. So I don't know what do you want to do? Let's call this thing, fun app.
Yeah. Cool. Very.
And yeah, sure. We can use file router. We'll use Tailwind. We won't use a tool chain. But here's all our options in terms of stuff that we can add. So this is like really cool stuff like Clerk and Convex and TanStack Form. Let's go check and grab that. Like let's make it a start app so we can get some server function.
Okay, so there is start support. That's what I was going to ask you.
Right. Yeah. But it's an optional thing. So basically the idea is you can kind of grade the app that you want to go anywhere from like a code router, which is going to give you a SPA, but with a code routing experience. So all your routes are defined in code. There's a file router, so all your stuff is defined in files, or all your routes are defined in files. And then there's like the full-on start experience where you've got API routes and server functions and all that good stuff. I'm sure TanStack table.
And I'll ask the maybe obvious question, but so like you're gonna set it up without.
That's the end.
Yeah. So you're gonna like say you didn't set it up with start to begin with.
Yeah.
You can always add it later to upgrade the project, or do you need to start?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I mean, that's there's a couple of files that need to be changed. So yeah, we could probably do. I haven't actually tested that yet, which is odd. Actually, that's like one big thing. But yeah, I mean, ideally, yes. So let's just get this going and see what they actually. You want to do the AI chat thing too?
Sure. Yeah, we could do that.
What the heck?
Is that using Vercel's AI SDK under the hood, or
this is great? This looks awesome. Yes, it uses the Vercel AI SDK. So
cool.
Okay, excellent. Okay, I don't know what happened there.
Oh, it's all good.
Good so far.
Actually,
let's do cursor instead. Cursor.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't tried Windsurf yet. How do you find it? Just side note, how do you find it compared to Cursor?
I keep switching all over the place between these three. Like VS Code just recently came up with their new version, which was like way better and had agent support, and the Cursor stuff was really cool. I think what did I like about it? I like the tab completion stuff. I thought was, or the tab completion stuff in Cursor is what really sells me over there. I think the agent mode in Windsurf I thought was better, and then I started getting an MCP, and the MCP support in Cursor was slightly better than Windsurf before VS Code had it. Now VS Code has it, and it's better than the other two. So
that's good to know. I haven't tried MCP server. I installed Goose.
Okay. Yeah.
And
there you go.
I did a stream with Goose, and we set up the VS Code MCP server, and it seemed to work well with Goose, but I haven't used it aside from that yet. So that's good to know that it's got good support in VS Code too.
So okay. So I do need to add some ShadCN stuff. Or ShadCN, PMPX, ShadCN.
Okay.
Yes, add button, input, label, I don't know, but a bunch of stuff, because form requires that, and I don't know why it was spitting there. Sometimes I did have to PR ShadCN. Let me go actually roll back in my what text area, slider, switch, and label.
Okay.
I did have to slider, switch. Label, and one of the issues was that when they said they were going to be silent, they weren't silent, and so running the ShadCN ad in the background like kind of blew up. So, and we'd do that infinite spin. So it's possible because I always work off the latest, and sometimes they can kind of mess me up, and I can kind of mess them up. So yeah, great. Okay, cool, awesome. This is looking great. Okay,
that's all good. This is. I know you do really good polished YouTube videos, but I'm used to, I'm used to stuff on the live stream not working. This happens to me all the time. So this is like par for the course. So don't worry about it.
Okay. Good. So can I try one more time? Yeah. Okay. Because we're on a live stream. We're having fun. Okay. So let's go back. Blah, blah, blah.
And while it's loading up there.
Some very basic stuff. Okay, AI app. How about that? Let's do that.
Cool.
All right.
What are you using for the CLI? Are you using like
it's clap
Inquis? Okay, from X
there we go.
X Astro what's his name? His name's escaping me.
I don't know names. Like I'm a terrible guy
Nate.
with names.
It's Nate.
I'm actually dyslexic, so I don't know anything about that stuff. I know people about what they do, which is kind of funny distinction. Like I know the ShadCN guy. I don't actually know the ShadCN guy personally, but like I know the ShadCN guy.
Yeah.
Like because he's a ShadCN guy to me. So so here's your kind of basic. As I say, like we originally were doing like the CRA thing, so that's why like the landing page always had the spinning React logo, but actually has like the TanStack logo embedded in it.
Oh yeah, and then if you zoom it,
So like here's a demo that we have for the AI stuff, and that was that add-on that I selected. So back over here, I selected this TanStack chat stuff, and that's what comes in here. Is it's like a cool like data set that you can then use and say, okay, so there's like a superhero guitar. You can say like, recommend a Marvel themed guitar. I don't know, whatever.
Okay.
I'm assuming that it's going to try and think that that's like so it's calling AI tools right now. It's actually calling our tools locally to get the product catalog, and then another tool to actually recommend the guitar. And then I can actually have it like navigate and do all that kind of fun stuff. So, it's a really cool like example app that you get like right out of the box.
Yeah. And it's really polished. It just looks really slick.
Right? Yeah. Actually, I've had people when I show it off like go, "Ooh, I want that guitar." And I'm like, well, kind of a drag that like that guitar doesn't actually exist. That was something that like Leonardo came up with, but whatever.
Yeah.
I actually should show that. Throw this one back through like the OpenAI image stuff to remove the background and whatnot. It's much better at that. So
I was gonna say in terms of the AI stuff, because you're running it locally, are you using Ollama right now, or is this hitting like OpenAI or something?
Yeah, let's take a look. So back over here, and go and see how it's actually working. Is anything on my computer going to work today, or is it just going to be me? So we're using so we're using the Anthropic AI. So we're using Claude all the way down here. Claude 3.5 Sonnet at the latest. And we're using, as you say, the Versal, I don't know, AI library, which is really good, by the way. Really, to be honest, it's excellent. And I think the really cool, interesting thing here about the fact that we're integrating this into TanStack is that TanStack can do something that the Next.js can't currently do. As far as I know, which is to respond to a server function. So we're actually creating a server function here. Called Gen AI response, right? So this is just how you start your request to the AI. And so we get back from stream text, we get a stream, right? So what is this? Can I actually
get a readable stream, right?
It's a readable stream. I don't know why why it's not like showing up, but so we get this to data stream response, and that works perfectly right out of the box with TanStack server functions. So server functions can return all kinds of stuff. They can return, primitives, JSON, all that, but they can also return streams, which is really, really cool. And let's see. So over in our, where's our AI assistant? So it's over in the components, AI assistant. And so down here, we got this like the use chat. So this is another thing from that AI library. And instead of, we just override fetch. So where normally this guy wants to go to like /API, there you go, chat. Instead, we're just like taking the body, which would have the messages in it, and just sending that on to our server function. That server function then returns a stream, and Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt, you're good to go.
Nice.
And then when it comes to tools, so here's a client-side tool call. Recommend guitar. That's the one that actually brings up this like this cool like card here, which is really neat. Like, so you're not only getting like the experience of like a textual response from the AI, you're also getting this cool like embedded stuff, which I think is really kind of cool.
Yeah, no, for sure.
And over here you got the tools, and so these are tools that we're going to give the AI. So get guitar just gives it a list of all the guitars that we have, our database of guitars. And then that recommend tool that we have that we can say, okay, well, when you found something you want to recommend to the user, then use this tool. And the get guitars one has an execute function on it, which means, okay, so the server is actually going to go and take that data and give it back to the AI right away. Whereas recommend guitar does not have an execute function on it, because that's actually, as I say, handled by the AI, handled by the UI over here. So we don't actually execute on that. It just tells us, and it comes back as part of the message stream that we are supposed to do that. And then we give those tools over to the AI, and there you go. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, it's pretty nice. And
then, sorry.
Oh, my camera just went funny. Okay, no, I was gonna say,
it's a great day for AV.
Yeah.
On too fast, too full stack.
Too slow,
buddy.
too relaxed. I don't know.
Too not working. Too yes.
I was gonna say, I mean, aside from the initial hiccup, that like bootstrapping this was very fast. Like with the CLI.
Yeah. And I'm now I have a bug report for myself for like basically choose every option and see why that's not working. It normally does, but so, and there's also this MCP integration in here. So if you have an MCP server that you want to run that has its own tools, then you can also add in that and get those MCP tools and add those to your setup. So, or your tools that you're going to give to the AI.
Nice.
Yeah.
So
it's a cool starting point, right? If you just want to start off with something and have like an AI chat built into whatever product it is that you want to build, or whatever app that you want to build, this is a cool starting point. You basically just rip out the guitar stuff and replace it with whatever you want, right? And the tool setup is all there, good to go. And if you want to change it over to Olama, I guess you could do that. Or I don't know which Olama one handles the tools call stuff.
I ran into this with Goose, because like I ended up using Olama for some things because they had a problem with one of their API keys. So it wasn't like the Olama 3.2 or whatever. It was another one. It was called like, I think it started with R, but it's like it's not Llama, like Llama 3 and Llama 4.
Yeah, I've got Llama Lava Llama 3. I love the names on this stuff. And of course, I've got DeepSeek R1. And actually, this runs. I was even surprised. Like, people were like, wait, dude, you could run like DeepSeek on your machine? I'm like, yeah, dude.
I pulled down the one, like I tried the larger one, and then my machine came to a grinding halt. But like,
those are fun. Like when you try and run the 7dB on like an M1, and it's just like, oh no, you're not doing that.
But yeah, for the Llama ones, I think there's like only one that has tool calling in it, and the name's escaping me. But it basically,
it does
as long as it has tool calling,
Llama, I think the list actually, when you
models,
if you get the models, it should list like tool calls. And there it is. Llama 3.3 has tools.
Okay, it has tools. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was 3.2 that didn't. I don't think.
Right, and even if it says it has tools, like the AI can support tools, and then the Vercel or whatever toolkit you're using to connect to it might not know the syntax of the tools for that particular AI, because they all are different, of course.
Right? Okay, gotcha.
Of course they are. Yeah. In fact, actually, I remember being like on a train to Scotland and trying to like go through and trying to work out like how the tools are communicating and writing my own like tool calling thing. And like, oh, this is a nightmare. And when I was doing it without the cursor stuff, because I had no internet. So it's like,
totally. So in terms of the create-tsrouter-app right now, so we've got, like you showed some of the examples, so you can use TanStack Start now, like Shadscan, all the table stake stuff, Tailwind, whatever. For the MCP stuff, because you've been, I saw you post about it quite a bit.
Yeah. Okay. Let's actually try that, because we're nuts and we're going to do this thing. So
because nothing's going to go wrong.
Because nothing's going to go wrong. Of course, nothing's going to go wrong in this stream. Okay. So where is it? It's okay. Let's do it with cursor. So MCP. Oh, wow. Actually, cool. Look at this. All right, cool.
Okay, so you have it set up.
So it's actually already set up. But basically, so you just done PMPX, and then create TS-router-app at the latest. And then you add on the MCP option, and that turns it into an MCP server. And as you can see, the tools that it gives back are like list TanStack React add-ons, create TanStack app, and all that fun stuff. So let's go and make ourselves an empty directory.
Yeah.
And then
I guess like for folks, like, because like MCP has been a hot topic lately, but I know there's still people that aren't really aware of what MCP is. Like, kind of in your own words, what's MCP to you?
Actually, can I? Hold on. I actually have a thing for this.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. Hold on. This is kind of cool. MCP Prezo. Look at this.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Okay. Are you gonna work Keynote, or are you just gonna like do nothing? Okay.
Or maybe it's open on another screen. I don't know.
I don't know. What did you do?
Or is the window minimized?
Thing. Oh, there it is. Oh, okay, cool. All right. So yeah, this is the cool like walkthrough. Can you see this?
Yeah.
Okay. So all right. So let's talk about like how a tool flow works just in general, so that people understand that. So let's just start off with the basic thing. Like I'm going to go and say, this is what we want. We want the LLM to be able to hit our product's API, right? So we want to give it good recommendations. So how do we do that? Well, we can't. The LLM obviously can't directly contact our API. Maybe it's behind a firewall. Maybe it's got authorization and all that kind of fun stuff. So what we do instead is, let's trace through a basic interaction with an AI. So let's just say you want the AI to say hello to us. So the client sends off this array of messages to the server that's got the actual like server function or API endpoint that calls the LLM, sends that back, and then the LLM just takes that message, that array of messages, adds on its return message with a role of assistant, and then that goes off the client, and there you go. So that's a basic prompt. But now let's add on tools. So let's say, please recommend a guitar, and our products are guitars. We send that off. And then the server, in addition to sending off the messages array, it also sends some metadata. And the metadata says, hey, I've got some additional tools for you. We got get products, and let me know if you need to actually call that. And the way that it lets you know is that it sends back a specially formatted message. And that message says, hey, call this tool. You know how to do it. I don't know how to do it. So you do it for me. So then the server then in turn calls that, it understands how to actually do that, get product. So it calls back, and then it sends back as a tool result, the guitar data, in this case, whatever it is, actually JSONified, but in a string. Not my favorite, but that is what it is. And then now, because the LLM has enough context, it can actually do that recommendation of a guitar for that customer. So that's how an actual tool flow works. And then let's see. So to add on MCP into all that, so let's go back down here, blah, blah, blah. Where was that? Maybe it's this one. Wow. This is like crazy. Okay. Oh, there you go.
Cool.
Yeah. So what we've done is now the when it gets that tool request, it instead calls MCP, an MCP server, which gives it a list of tools as metadata, which it then injects back into that list of tools that gives it the LLM request. And then that MCP server does its work and then sends that back to the server. So the tools are essentially exactly the same. The value of wrapping them in an MCP server is that now you can connect all kinds of stuff to that MCP server, including the front end if you want to do that, or also like Claude or VS Code or what have you. Does that make any more sense? Hope that helps out somebody.
No, it's just good just to give folks a bit of a primer, because I don't know, online you don't even hear people saying model context protocol right now. They just say MCP, and it's like
right. What does that mean? I don't know. It could be all kinds of things. Okay, so we've got Cursor here, and he's in agent mode. So let's just ask him, and now he's got access to that MCP server because I put it into my list of MCP servers that are available, that create-tsrouter-app MCP server, and I can say, make us a TanStack app that has a spinning hello world on the home page. How about that?
Cool.
And there you go. So now it's going to go and see, okay, so it's going to call my list of TanStack React add-ons. Cool. And we can actually see what it responded with. So for some reason or other, it decided it's going to use ShadCN for this. I don't know why, but it likes that. And now it's actually going and creating that directory. Cool. Look at this. Pretty cool, right? And now, actually, after it's made that, now it's actually doing its local agent work to actually make the changes that we talked about, which is really kind of cool.
Okay. So this is super cool.
Yeah, then it's kind of neat, right? I mean, as far as I know, I don't know any other creator CLI that actually do this MCP stuff. Like this was kind of novel for us, which I think is kind of neat. Okay, so now let's accept that file. Okay, I don't think it's done anything very exciting, but let's give it a go. Oops, hold on. PM start. If you don't, what?
I got to install maybe.
What are you doing? Okay. Oh, now it's boy.
Oh, it's still going.
Yeah, it's still going. Let's go. Okay. Okay. PMI. Oh wait, I'm not in there.
Okay. Wrong folder. Okay. Yeah.
Wrong folder. It's like the simplest things, Like okay.
Yeah. Totally.
Okay. Go back down. All right. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. That's not bad, actually. Yeah. Okay. I mean,
no, but that's super cool. Like
there.
No, but that's like really cool. So I guess I'm curious for because it bootstraps the project. Is it run when your MCP server call for that tool happens? Is it running the CLI and just locally adding those files to your project, or what is it doing exactly?
Yeah. Okay. Let's go take a look at the code.
This is not necessarily MCP specific, just more like I'm just curious what totally. The tool call is doing.
Let's go here. Okay, TanStack create-tsrouter-app. I don't know if I've had this. I probably don't have this locally. This is like my screencasting machine, so I don't.
Okay.
I don't develop here.
Okay.
Get clone. We can actually just take a look at the code.
I'll have a separate screencasting machine one day. Maybe I'm still like one computer for everything. So
I wish I was. I mean, to be honest, like it's just having like this fixed setup with a camera and all that. It's just a lot nicer. Especially if like I mess up and then I have to go back and like reshoot a particular segment. It's like as long as my hair basically matches, it's good. And I've got like the shirts that I always use, like literally on the side of the door, because I always use the same shirts. Anyway, okay, so there's this thing called CTA engine. That's the create-TanStack engine, because all of these CLIs, Start App, create-TanStack, and create-tsrouter-app, they all like basically use exactly the same engine underneath the hood. And then the MCP option in here, let's just see. So so what are our tools? So our tools, so we have a create server. So we're gonna, when we get that option for --MCP, we run this create server call, which in turn calls this new MCP server. And then we give it some tools. We give it list TanStack React add-ons. We give it create TanStack React application. And then when that happens, the thing that we do is we go to that directory. We then figure out what all the add-ons you want are, get all that set up, and then we run our create app. So it's not like launching it. It's basically it's in itself already. So it doesn't need to actually launch like the node module to do that. Cool. And then we don't even check it if there's been any errors because we're crazy that way. Actually we do. Okay, cool. All right, awesome. And then we say that we ran that successfully. The one thing I couldn't get it to do, and I would love anybody in the audience to help me out with this, would be I want it like if I'm not like what I really wanted it to do when I built this spinning hello world was just create it in the directory where I was. Like I don't want a subdirectory. And I'm trying to prompt it to do that, but I don't know how to get it there. Use the
I wonder if you could add some context to say like this is the folder structure, you know, if you create a component, put it in the, you know what I mean? It's kind of prompt engineering is so funny. You're basically just scolding all the time.
Right? Exactly.
never
Please don't do that. No. I really said don't do that. Don't do that. You're like, okay. We do, let's see. I think we do add cursor rules. Yeah, we do add some cursor rules as part of the basic app setup. So that's kind of cool. So like for shadcn, I guess, you know, I'll always use the latest. But I think we can do a lot better there in terms of adding more rules specific to like TanStack start and how we define file routes and all that. What our syntax is.
Yeah, but I mean, it's still early days, but this is like very cool. And I think you're absolutely right. I haven't seen anybody else have a thing where it bootstraps like a project like this with an MCP server. It's always been it's always CLI based, or you just basically either fork a repo or you just use the template repo. So
or you use like Bolt, right? And the cool thing about this is it's basically Bolt, but it's right in Cursor, right? It's right in there with VS Code now, or Cursor or Windsurf. They all support MCP. It's got actually two different flavors of MCP you can use. It's got MCP on the command line or standard IO, and it's got the SSE version. So if whatever you're using doesn't like that, you can use the SSE version instead.
That's cool. The SSE meaning you're talking about server sent
events one? Server sent events one.
Okay.
And as we talked about before we got on the stream, right? So there's some interesting security issues around that standard IO version, because you're essentially, right, you're just running this as a local command. Like if I go over there to that that settings, cursor settings, and take a look at what's happening here. I love working in like 1920 by 1080 mode. It's so ridiculous. But you have to do it because everybody like they watch your YouTube videos on like a phone, you know, like so you have to have like the massive fonts and stuff. But basically, this is just like just running a command. I mean, you could run anything in here, and this thing could be doing anything. Could be crazy, right? And so, we're gonna have to come up with some way to kind of like sandbox these guys.
Yeah, there's one of my old coworkers from Netlify. He used to be I think he was a product manager on the frameworks team. He's at Microsoft now on, I think it's the Core AI project. And he posted, they're working on an RFC to improve like auth-n, auth-z in terms of MCP. And like I was kind of mentioning you before the stream too, like where I work now, Pomerium, it's like a zero trust security thing. So there's the identity provider part of it, but there's also the context. So it's like, you know, like you can only do this if you're like this service account or like you're this user, like, because imagine, you know, like maybe there's a public place where you can access, anybody can access it, but maybe you have MCP servers that are really work specific, you know, so like just having that whole context of who you are and what you're trying to do, you know, so like,
yeah,
I don't know, it's definitely a space ripe for you know,
right for us to do something.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's also this roots thing that I was just hearing about recently, which are essentially, I think you can like basically tell the MCP, either you're telling the MCP, oh, okay, what's the flow here? I think it's the client tells the MCP where it can operate effectively.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think that's what's going on here. Yeah. Oh,
yeah. Okay, roots in terms of like these are the folders.
Define the boundaries where the servers can operate. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's cool. That's something at least, right? It's effectively the equivalent of like chroot from the good old Unix days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, obviously it's early days in MCP land and like people are just experimenting, but it's like, I don't know, I'm kind of nervous to some degree, like things take off and people just like don't bother with guardrails, you know what I mean? And then you'll end up with something like that guy who's like, what was it? Not Bolt, Cursor deleted my project that I never committed to Git. You know, like,
yes. That's actually funny. I was literally writing up this morning a script for like the shortest video I'm going to do in a while, which is one thing that developers need, that vibe coder, one developer skill that vibe coders need.
Yeah.
And it's basically Git, right?
Yeah.
You know, there is actually like, I never really use this. I mean, I'd be curious if you have too. Have you ever used the timeline view?
I've looked at it before, but honestly, I'm usually not in it. There was also like, I don't know, like I'm typically in the terminal for Git. The only time I use the UI is really for diffs, like VS Code or any forks of VS Code are really great for just the diff view.
Yeah.
Like it's, but everything else, like, not that I'm like some Git whiz, but like I'm pretty comfortable in the terminal normally for most things. But what's the timeline give you? It's just like you change this.
Well,
like
yeah. So
2 minutes ago, or
well, let's go over to this guy and let's create a new thing. And now the context here is index.tsx. So let's say I'm not vibing with pink and blue. Can I type today? I don't think so. I can't type. I can't. My computer doesn't work. It's all great. It's awesome.
it's all good.
I'm not being a pink and blue. Give me something, I don't know, more ice rink specific. I don't know what that means.
Blue and white, maybe? I don't know.
Probably blue and white. Yeah. Okay. So it's going to go make a change to this. Ooh, a frozen glacial feeling.
Ooh, nice.
Cool. Okay, cool. All right. So
very Titanic.
Yeah. Okay. So there we go. Now it's actually done its work. Let's take a look and see if it actually did anything. Oh, well, that's weird.
It looks like it killed the logo.
Actually, maybe. No, there you go. Yeah. Now we're back in like our simplified version. So this is like the hello world spinning thing.
Okay. So it changed the background. Yeah. Okay.
It just changed the background. It's great. That's actually what I wanted. But if you go over here, like, and actually like see the diffs between the different stages here.
Oh,
and this is even without Git, which I think is like kind of cool. And I didn't even know that they did this until I talked with like the VS Code team. They're like, you do know we have this and we've had it for a while. So like this would be the first thing that would save your ass when you got that like, hey, the AI deleted like 4 days worth of work or whatever.
Okay, yeah.
This should help you a little bit, but really it's Git, you know, like and knowing just at least the bare mechanics of like, hey, commit your changes. You know, you'll see the difference. Like,
no, totally. But it was still like, I don't know. I didn't really feel bad for that person that lost.
No, I don't really feel bad for that person.
It's just like, it's kind of like, even if
welcome
you're
to the
not comfortable with Git. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, still it was pretty wild because he was complaining he was like really mad about it is like,
right?
Yeah. I didn't save my stuff, so I'm very frustrated now. But anyways,
I mean, I think vibe coding is really good for for actual devs who know how to debug, know the basics of like Git mechanics and things like that. Like my flow currently is if I'm making like an example app out of something, if I'm going to make like an example resume builder or something like that, I'll just go and scaffold out the basic mechanics of like, it's going to have job listings and it's going to have, you know, my educational experience, and I'll rough it out. Maybe I don't even know if I'll format it, and I'll literally just take like a screenshot of it and say like, hey, and then I'll commit it, and then I'll be like, here's a screenshot, make it pretty. And then I'll spend 20 minutes of vibe coding of just like, I don't like how it's this way or that way. And it'll like, I'll make it responsive, you know, it'll do all that. And like, yes, that's perfect. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I've been using, I got a Bolt subscription and just mess around with it. And it's pretty good. And like, I was talking to my coworker, Dennis, and he's kind of right here. It's like, it's good from getting you to 0 to 1.
Yeah.
And then like after that, like, it's funny. Sometimes I just get stuck in a vibe coding loop because I'm just like, I don't want to debug it, even though I know I should.
I know. Please just work. You know? Oh, yeah. Like when it comes to recursion or something like that, like traversing file trees, I'm like, okay, I know I could grind through this. I just want you to do it for me.
Yeah. But it's I don't know. It's pretty awesome still though. Like it
is. It's amazing that we have this now. It's crazy.
Yeah. Like I mean, this is like, people complain a lot in front end land, like, oh, everything's so complicated. There is a lot of complicated stuff, but like, as somebody who's been in the game for a while, I'm like, this is like the most amazing time. Like, I always used to be that guy that had to configure Webpack by hand, you know, like, you know, and like, you know, and there was React boilerplates and stuff, pre-frameworks. And so it's like, I'm like totally game for like, I don't have to touch a config, or like, it's doing this for me, you know. It's like, I don't know, Prettier with same thing with like Prettier. That was a game changer for me. I just love typing it unformatted and just I have it auto save.
Just hit save.
And
you're good. It's all cleaned up. I mean, the only thing it can't do is like balance stuff. And, and that's where the LLM kicks in, because you're like, dang it, just balance the thing. Like I don't care. Like I don't care if it's like curly. I'm missing a curly brace and then 3 parens or a paren and a curly brace and 3 or whatever, you know, just balance it for me. You know what to do.
Yeah. But that's definitely a game changer, because I remember when I was working at McAfee, my coworker's like readability. He's like, can you move that, tab that 3 over and like do this? And I'm like, I was like, okay, sure. And like all those kind of PR feedback are just toast now, which is beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, I guess there's Devin. I think folks using Devin for that, those kind of things. And I don't know. I kind of miss those, actually, to be honest. Like I was talking to some folks and bemoaning the fact that like AI was taking, like if I'm really going hard on something on the day, I'm like, oh, I had to like figure out all this crazy whatever data structures, whatever else. And then, so you're at the end of the day, or you're halfway through the day, you got to get fixed, and you're like, but I got more work. I got more time to work. Right. But my brain is gone. So I need like little things that I can go and do that are just going to like improve the app a little bit. Like the 3 pixels that way thing. And that they call that snacking. And I'm like, that's a perfect term for that, snacking.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Right. And AI kind of takes away snacking. It's like, I kind of like those, actually.
Yeah.
As long as it's okay. As long as it's one of those things where it's like some CSS sinkhole where it's like, oh, well, if you add 3 pixels here, then everything else shifts. Non-responsive, and you're like, oh my God. You know.
No, totally. It's also something one of my old coworkers from Dev2 brought up, because we catch up every few weeks still, and you've
been all over the place. This is awesome.
No, it's honestly, like, side note, but open source changed my career basically.
Oh, cool.
That's basically how like I've been working in all these places. Dev2, I was contributing to the front end before I worked there, and then basically I was interviewing at Facebook, didn't work out, and then like I knew the founders, and I just said, hey, didn't work out over there or whatever, and they're like, oh, by the way, we're hiring, you know. And then like there was not really an interview, because I really
you already
yeah,
already know the code base, right?
and that's kind of snowballed into moving to other things. So like in terms, I'm never gonna say like open source guarantees you're gonna get a job in open source, but I'm like batting like 4 for 4 now, so it's like pretty good.
That's really
But
good.
and it's like, I mean, like where I'm at now, it's open core, so like there is an enterprise, obviously, but like the bones of it are open source, and it's just like, I don't know, I like working out in the open and like just working with the developer community. So like if I can keep doing that, great. And maybe one day it'll change. But like I came from like closed source. I did a lot of .NET before that, and this is like pre Microsoft going open source. So like at the time, like I wanted to contribute to open source in like 2015, and .NET was closed sourced, and so I was always a fan of JavaScript, and then I was in early days and like I was doing TypeScript in 2015 and like React around then, but like early days. And I just started contributing to open source. So there was this React boilerplate called React Slingshot. It's from Corey House. It's like a Redux React boilerplate.
Okay, as you do.
And then, yeah. Anyways, that's kind of where things kickstarted, and I just putting myself out there and contributing to stuff. Just for me, at least, it's opened up doors all the time, so it's pretty awesome.
And I think if you're in the closed source space,
the
quality can be kind of low, I'll be honest with you, right? And they don't keep up necessarily with the latest in like project structure or tooling or that kind of thing. And it's been like working with TanStack has been really informative in terms of like how they handle their mono repos and how they do the publishing workflow and all that kind of stuff. And I've been learning a lot, which has been great. I wasn't learning a lot in some of the closed source places. It was like you were always running to catch up. You'd always find out something cool in the open source space and be like, "Ooh, let's do this. Let's move over to this." And they'd be like, "Oh, maybe in tech debt in like 100 years we could do that." Like, no, man.
Like moving the needle can be slower. Like I worked at Autodesk, and it was a good company, but like. I would ship a feature and it would go out 8 months later. Whereas like open source, like startup, put it on main, we're shipping it kind of, So like the velocity, like you could, obviously there's more red tape as a company gets bigger, but like I don't know, it's really satisfying to just ship stuff. And like, there's obviously trade-offs there, but like, I don't know, maybe I'll end up at boring big tech co again at some point, but it's like, I don't know, just riding this wave for now. And
how many people are at the company you're at now?
We're like, we just hired a couple, so I think we're like 18 now. So it's not big.
Oh yeah, that's great. I mean, you can really move the needle at a company like that. Like that's actually like people care when you show up. People, they depend on you. And things like that. Whereas a big company, sometimes it's easy to get like lost. You're like, oh, I haven't shown up at work in 3 days, and nobody seems to care.
Yeah. Is he alive in his cubicle?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, no, totally.
Not dead.
Yeah. But I was gonna say, like, in terms of the project, I've got the link up here again. Like it's still early days. I'm gonna take a peek at it because I'd like to contribute to it if there's issues. I'm assuming there's some issues open right now, but
up to you,
yeah.
And actually, I would love some feedback on the alpha stuff that I'm working on. So.
Yeah, that was gonna say, like, so like obviously it's open source, so it's open for like create issues, try it out, try and break it.
Select everything and see it blow up. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. No, but to your point about that though, it's good that it happened on the stream, because like I was doing a TanStack start one, and I was just going through the docs, and Tanner was kind enough to just join the stream, like in the chat, not on the stream, but I'm like going through it. I'm like, oh, that's not working. He's like filing issues as I'm going through it, and it's
nice.
So and to your point about what you're saying, like I've got to say, like I find the tech very compelling. Like it's complex under the hood maybe, but like I just find it doesn't make my brain hurt using TanStack Start, or like TanStack Router to me makes so much sense just in terms of like strongly typed routes, because like I just can't tell you how many times you have a wrong URL and you don't know until it's in prod, even if you have end-to-end tests, so like it's pretty cool for that. And not just like just a route, like the full route, like the query string, everything. It's like it's kind of bananas if you think about it. But I feel like that's going to be like a table stakes thing going forward. Like I think Remix has like obviously not as strong a router as TanStack Router, but I think they're working on making it more type safe.
Them some fighting words.
yeah. Sorry, no offense, Riot and Co. Remix is awesome. Here you go, plug.
There you go.
Yeah, but I think like Next.js is working on, like, I think, that's to your point about like moving the needle or like stuff being out in the open. It's like that's how you see other projects like riff off of each other in general. Like, and I've seen that a lot in like the Vite ecosystem, like, and just like I know like Brandon Roberts, my old coworker who's on Analog. I know he's worked with Tanner a lot, even though like Tanner's more in React land. So like it's just kind of cool to see those things. And it's your point about closed source, that kind of stuff won't happen. Like,
no, yeah. In fact, I mean, I'm, over in like on the Discord server, I mean, I'll be in a room and there'll be, Angular, Solid, React folks, and we're all talking about how, to come up with an API that kind of works between all three. And, I imagine at some point, probably Vue is going to enter the stream at some point. Because at the end of the day, like, there is a lot of commonality of the main thematic elements here, and being able to have a start that works across these things. You might not have you obviously wouldn't have a single app that does that, but understanding that skill set, like I think, and having it be portable is really cool, and it's very unique.
And it's and to your point too about like the structure and stuff, like Remix has really great docs too, but Tanner's team, like all the like Corbin, yourself, Kevin, like the docs are like top tier, like, and it's like it makes such a difference to a project. It doesn't guarantee the success of a project, but all the successful projects I've seen have good docs, so
for sure. That's true. And I mean, the table stakes have gone up there too, right? We now need like LLMs.txt so that you can actually like have your project and have it be LLM readable, so that folks can bring on your new like library or whatever, and your LLM will actually understand it, as opposed to like hallucinating, being like, well, it should have something like this, and being it, no, it's not that.
Totally. Yeah, but that's awesome. I'll drop the link again to create-tsrouter here for folks. Strongly encourage you to try it out, fork it, look at the issues, open up issues. I don't know, this project's really promising to me, because like I do miss I agree with you that, I mean, nuking CRA is one thing, but like I know there's still like the create Vite app, which like it's kind of,
I looked at it from the educator standpoint of view, which is like, okay, so I've gone and made all these tutorials on that use Create React app, because that was the way to do it, 5 years ago or whatever. And so many somebody comes up and they're like, oh, I want to learn how to code, and they start following my tutorial, and like Create React app is giving me all these warnings about being deprecated or whatever. Like having a thing where I can basically literally do, like, all you gotta do is just change the word React to TanStack or TS Router, and it'll be exactly the same. All the code's in the same place and everything like that. But not only is the code in the same place and now ready to go, but you also have a router, which is like the first thing you're going to add anyway, right?
Exactly.
Router. So it's all set up. It's all good to go. As opposed to like, hey, you learner person, go somehow mentally translate this Create React app example into Next.js, where you're going to have use client, and you're going to have server rendering, and you're going to have all this stuff that is amazing, incredible, and awesome, and it's great, but it's not Create React app. And there's a lot of space there for like spas. Like I think spa is still a very credible way to build an app. And I mean, what was the latest React survey? It was like 70% of people were doing spa work. I mean, so saying like you got to jump from CRA to Next.js, I don't think is a starter, really. Practical.
And I think, like you said, from the education standpoint, like Next.js is a great framework, but like there's stuff like the caching and stuff that has nothing to do with React in terms of learning it, right? Because like initially it was just like, okay, create a component, pass some props, see what happens, and like, and I don't know, I still like, it's one of the, I don't know, I find React's really easy on my brain in that sense. And like, I think part of it too is like JSX. I just love JSX. But you kind of lose that to your point of like, if you go straight to a framework, like I get you're probably going to use a framework in a job probably, but to learn it, like I think it's causing noise by saying, okay, well, you need to know about ISR and like all the different caching patterns in Next.js, because yes, that's good to learn when you do Next.js, but it's not React, and it's kind of muddied, I think. And that, I think going back to basics with something like this makes sense. But I know it's been a spicy topic on, at least in my Twitter bubble, and I'm sure yours too. But
yeah, it was a big deal, like on the day for sure. Clay asked if CRA has been deprecated for a while, and is soft deprecated. There was like, there was the very controversial page on on the React Dev site, probably the most controversial page on the React Dev site, which was the platforms page. Like, oh, you should be on a platform, right? And it didn't include Vite, which was something that, or it still doesn't. It's like, I think the next page on is like doing it yourself, and that's where Vite comes in. But let's see, it was and then there was also Dan's tweet, which essentially like, hey, we're deprecating CRA, we're not going to keep on doing it. And then React 18 to 19 happened, and there was some peer dev. There was a very minor peer dev issue. Between those, this gave maybe as a warning. I don't even think it was like a full on.
A bunch of third parties. I don't think they exploded. I think it was just a warning, like you said.
I think it was just a warning, and people were like, oh no, this is bad, And so basically, the React team was like, okay, let's make it official. They put out this huge blog post, which is basically like a retelling of the page that was on React Dev already about frameworks and why you should use them and all that. And that was, I think, 2 months ago. That's about right. Something like that.
It's funny. It's kind of a relief for me that I'm not on the frameworks team anymore. So I'm just like, it's just driving out. It doesn't affect. Well, it affects me indirectly, but it's like, a lot of this was like directly related to work I was doing before. So, no, that's cool, man. I'm just going to go ahead and drop the link again for create-tsrouter-app, like I said. And folks, strongly encourage you to go star it, give it a fork, try it out. If you're interested in contributing to open source, this is like still an early project. TanStack stuff is also very hot, I would say, if you're in the React space. And not even just React Solid, like you said, in other spaces. But I think if you were, because this is something I was telling you how like open source opened doors for me. This is the kind of project, I think if you contributed to this is something that would carry a lot of weight for anybody who's either doesn't have a professional job yet, or even if you do, it still would hold a lot of weight, I think. So
and well, so let's talk about that for a second. So let me go back and share my screen one more time. So
go for it.
Hey, that's the one. Okay, so if I go over here to create-tsrouter, let's go. Create-tsrouter. Oops, hold on. Create-tsrouter-app. That's what I want. Okay. What am I doing? Sorry.
It's all good. It's all good.
Okay, thanks. Okay, so here's the create-tsrouter-app project, right? This is the big monorepo that's got everything in it. And one of the areas that we got a lot of cool stuff in is these templates. And the templates have these. So there's the base stuff for the base of the project, and then there's a code router, a file router. There's the add-on, that like the layer that goes on top of it to make it to specify or set up the project as a file router or code based router. But there's all these cool add-ons, right? So we got all that, the stuff that I showed before, like Clerk and Convex and Form and all that kind of stuff. In fact, just recently we added T3Env. That was an open source contributor who was just like, hey, I'm into this T3Env, let's go. And he's actually got another PR for PWA. I'm not a PWA dev, so I kind of like responded with like, I don't know if this is enough or what, but it'd be great to have some eyes on that. So that this is a really cool way to be able to add on more functionality to it in a nice way.
Yeah, for sure.
Or change the existing functionality, because a lot of these have some demos. Like, for example, TanStack Query has a demo that's like this really just kind of really dumb query. Like, all we're doing is like going and grabbing like an API to give us a list of people and like just printing out their names. It's like, come on, we can do better than this. Like, I have some fun with it. Like, make it so it's kind of cool.
Yeah, for sure.
And then if you're into Solid, like they're essentially the corresponding thing over on Solid. So there's a bunch of add-ons over there as well. So if you're into like there's TanStack Query one there. There's Solid UI, which is essentially their equivalent of like Shadcn. So yeah, I mean, I think that this and the way that I've structured this is it's pretty much a copy of what you get in the actual like app itself. And then but there are sometimes when it gets a little bit more complicated. Like, for example, like this TanStack Query one, there's a couple of different ways. There's a couple of different changes that you might have. For example, like it could be a file router or it could be a code router. And that's why there's this EJS stuff in there. And then also we have TRPC. And so if the person has selected both TRPC or if the person selected TRPC, it automatically selects the TanStack Query stuff, because you need to have both of those. And then the way that you write the query is different between those two things. But
so that's the other thing. Yeah, you can also suggest new templates, I guess, too.
Sure. And all those suggestions with PRs is always good.
Oh yeah, and like no, this is really cool, man. And it's like I definitely have to dig into this. I'm traveling a bit still, but yeah, when I get back, I want to sink my teeth into this a bit. So
awesome. Yeah, look forward to it.
Cool. Well, I know we're at time. I want to be mindful of your schedule there, Jack, but this was awesome hanging out. Even with the mic issues, which honestly was a lot of fun. Seriously.
There you go.
I know you're a little stressed at one point, I think, but I was like, this is par for the course.
It felt like it was 5 minutes, but I'm sure on stream is more probably maybe 3 or something. I don't know, but it felt like an eternity watching my
30 minutes.
Yeah, right. Exactly. But no, I think even with that, we covered a lot, and we talked.
Oh yeah, no, it's really cool.
And tool flows and create-tsrouter-app and TanStack and
there's a lot of exciting stuff here, and I know Brian from CFE is gonna slice this up a bit for some shorts too. But
there you go.
Cool. Well, thanks everybody for hanging in the chat today. And Jack, if you don't mind just staying on for 1 sec, everybody else, we'll see you next month. I haven't figured out the date yet because I'm traveling, but I'll get that out soon. Take care, everybody.
Thanks for hanging out, y'all.